Let's move on to another story. Now, as a professional footballer, Flash, I'm sure you had your moments and all that, but what about players caught misbehaving on the night of a game that they've lost and 3 or 4 days before another vital fixture which could save them from relegation? I'm talking about Aston Villa players and allegations that they've been completely out of order.
Yeah, I'm not too sure it was after a game. I thought it was after the Player of the Year awards.
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. After awards,
yeah, again, I mean, this is the big thing that I have with players these days.
Yeah.
They've got to understand that they are much more high profile than when I played.
But they shouldn't do it.
No, and this is it. They've got to rise above it.
Yeah.
Now, and I don't know if you. I mean, Man United used to do this. They used to send a couple of security guards with their players to make sure they were between them and any trouble. And if anything was going to go on, they got ammo out of there.
Yeah.
They're left to their own devices. They're human beings. They're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
But they've got to pay the consequences.
Yeah.
And for me, these players who actually get involved and it could go down the criminal route, then I would sack them on the spot and then sue them for their worth to the club.
Well, that's an amazing thing you say there. Let's get up to the Skype wall. Matt Turvey's there. He works for that veritable organ, the Express and Star in the Midlands, biggest newspaper, even newspaper in the country. And, of course, he's a Villa fan and he's with us now. Matt, a very good evening to you, pal.
Evening.
Now, Matt, how did you greet this? You're not only a professional journalist who has to, examine the facts of the situation. You're a Villa fan. You must be dismayed.
Difficult. I mean, the news actually broke via my cousin's husband, Nick McCarthy, who actually works for the Birmingham Mail.
Right.
And it was a bit. To be fair, looking at the situation and what has actually happened. I mean, I used to work at Gatecrasher doing DJing years ago. And basically, from
this is where this happened, is it?
Yeah, this is Gatecrasher. It's a nightclub in Birmingham city centre.
Yeah.
And from my understanding, because I've seen the video footage, they wouldn't be allowed to get into the nightclub wearing the clothes that they wore. And what I assume has happened is basically the doormen have said, sorry lads, you're not coming in. Thinking, probably not even knowing who these people are. And I imagine Chris Hurd or someone like that has basically said, don't you know who I am? Typical sort of footballer and.
Well, that's an allegation we don't know about, but I understand you're painting a picture. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, exactly. But when I've reviewed the video footage that the Birmingham Mail provided, it's a bit of a, it's not suggesting necessarily it's a brawl. It's just they were trying to get in the front door, obviously, and presumably had been, denied entry, and that's kind of really what's happened.
But I mean, so close to such a vital game.
Yeah, and this is what I was going to say to Matt, mate. These 3 players have left themselves no hiding place now because the spirit they showed of trying to get into the nightclub, if they showed that in the middle of the park in most Premiership weekends, they probably would have got a lot better because the one thing that's been missing all season has been a Villa midfield that's competed.
Absolutely agree, Flash. I mean, in terms of the effort that's been involved, I mean, before this story came out last night, there was a mention that obviously it was the ceremony on Monday night, and that Alan Hudson, Stephen Warnock and James Collins had been involved in some sort of falling out of a nightclub situation. Obviously, it's then sort of transpired via a video that Fabian, Delph and Chris Hurd was also involved in the situation. And at the end of the day, one thing that, as you quite rightly say, that Villa have been lacking is fight. Really, I mean, there's been a lot of stuff has fallen on his shoulders. He's been blamed for a lot of stuff, and unfairly in my mind, because there's been moments where players really could have done a lot better. They really could have made a lot more contribution. The work ethic for a lot of them, it's just, it's almost like they're thinking ahead to the end of the season of like, well, if Villa go down, it's just not a problem, I'll move on.
Okay. What about the Villa situation itself? Are you as optimistic and as gloomy as some Villa fans we've had on over the last couple of days about your chances of surviving the Premier League? Spurs this weekend, of course.
No, I think we will, Mike. I mean, at the end of the day, we need 1 point. We've got Spurs obviously at the weekend, which maybe we'll get something out of it. Maybe not. We've obviously got Norwich at Carrow Road for the last game of the season as well. So, if we get a point, we're safe. Essentially, I mean, Blackburn can't catch us unless they score 14 goals more than us. Yeah. So, Blackburn pretty much are either going to be down or thereabouts. Okay. And QPR have got City on the last game of the season. So. Yeah. I think, sadly for Villa, it's going to be more of a case that they will survive because of other teams being more inept than them, than it really is about the quality of their particular performance.
I see. OK, well, Matt, thank you very much indeed. As always, fantastic contribution to the show. Great. Matt Turvey, Express and Star. Give us a lowdown there on men misbehaving or men behaving badly. Stay ahead of the game with Sports Tonight Live. Don't miss a thing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Search for Sports Tonight Live on Facebook and like our fan page. Follow Sports Tonight TV on Twitter and tweet us your thoughts and opinions. Sports Tonight Live, it's the platform for the fans.